Hello, my name is Madie Wensley and I am a doctoral student at Kansas State University. Today I will be discussing a project in which we summarize different post-weaning strategies that can be used to minimize nutrient intake disruption and improve feed intake in the immediate post-weaning period. Appreciation is expressed to Denny McKilligan and TechMix Incorporated for their technical and financial support. This review is part of the Improving Pig Survivability Project, a 5-year multidisciplinary project aimed at reducing mortality in the U.S. swine industry. You can learn more about the Improving Pig Survivability Project at www.piglivability.org. In the previous video, we discussed different pre-weaning strategies that can be implemented on-farm to improve feed intake and reduce subsequent morbidity and mortality after weaning. In this video, we will focus on the post-weaning strategies that contribute to improving feed intake after weaning. One of the primary limiting factors affecting feed intake in newly weaned pigs is their physical capacity to ingest feed. Low feed intake after weaning often does not provide enough nutrients to the pig to satisfy maintenance requirements, subsequently leading to reduced growth. Therefore, as an industry, it is important for us to understand what factors are involved in the regulation of feed intake in order to develop successful management and feeding programs. Post-weaning strategies to increase feed intake after weaning can be broken into 4 primary categories, including environmental strategies such as barn temperature and resource availability, nursery placement strategies, water consumption and enrichment opportunities, and lastly, diet considerations, which would include a variety of feeding strategies such as liquid feeding programs, diet form, palatability, and complexity. Within these categories, let's first take a look at what strategies we know help reduce nutrient intake disruption after weaning. We know that the thermal neutral zone is essential for providing an environment that encourages pigs to search out and begin consuming feed. Easy access to resources such as feed and water is also extremely important. However, we know that feed availability is influenced by many factors, including pen size, group size, feeder design, and location of feed relative to water. In a study conducted by Laskansky and others in 2020, the average time it took for pigs to begin consuming feed was increased as the number of pigs per feeder hole or pigs per pen was increased. Mat and gruel feeding strategies are other strategies commonly practiced throughout the industry to increase feed accessibility. While limited research data is available to validate protocols or benefits, mat feeding has been shown to reduce the removal rate of pigs after weaning. Similarly, we know that nursery placement strategies play an important role in initial feed intake. Sorting lightweight pigs into uniform body weight groups and average or heavyweight pigs into variable body weight groups increases initial feed intake, benefiting lightweight pigs while also reducing initial aggression in heavyweight pigs. Furthermore, because water intake tends to be greatest in the first 24 hours after nursery placement, water enrichment strategies can be used to provide additional nutrients at weaning. Water enrichment with electrolytes, plasma globulins, and others have been shown to benefit growth performance and morbidity and mortality. Likewise, there are a magnitude of diet considerations we know to be important for the weanling pig. First, let's consider diet form. Across several trials, weanling pigs consistently preferred diets manufactured with coarse ground corn rather than fine ground corn. Additionally, when pelleted diets were fed, greater feed intake was observed in pigs provided half-inch pellets compared to 1/8-inch pellets. Palatability is another important factor in diet considerations. However, increasing preference doesn't always equate to higher feed intake, especially when pigs are not given a choice between diets. It is also well established that feeding more complex diets during the first week post-weaning improves pig growth and efficiency. However, the initial benefits observed in performance often tend to decrease with increasing time post-weaning. Diet complexity also considers different feeding strategies that can be used to reduce post-weaning diarrhea, such as the addition of organic acids, level of crude protein in the diet, fiber inclusion, and zinc and copper supplementation. Diet complexity after weaning should also look at ingredients that may bolster gut health and subsequent feed intake, including fatty acid supplementation, the use of conditionally essential amino acids such as glutamine and tryptophan, salt levels, and the potential benefits of myo-inositol. There are still several pre-weaning strategies that require further investigation. For example, the thermal neutral zone. What environmental temperatures are ideal to encourage pen exploration and reduce the time it takes for pigs to begin consuming feed? Additionally, documenting the value of different mat and gruel feeding programs is necessary. More research is also needed on the concept of early flavor experiences. Does perinatal or social interaction flavor learning increase feed acceptance post-weaning as a result of flavor association? And then lastly, we know that milk supplementation prior to weaning has its benefits, but what about its application post-weaning? In summary, we know that resource availability, environmental temperature, nursery placement strategies, and diet formulation influence post-weaning behavior and feed intake. However, at the end of the day, maintaining continuity of nutrient intake after weaning begins with people. Having the right people in the barn that know how to read the pigs and understand their needs is essential. Thanks for watching. Please check the website for the Improving Pig Survivability Project at piglivability.org for more information about projects and resources aimed at reducing mortality in the U.S. swine industry.